Hello, my lovelies. I hope you had a great Christmas and that your holidays, whatever denomination you represent, were peaceful and good. Mine was very peaceful. I think I probably had the most relaxing Christmas ever. In fact, I would even go so far as to say it was an un-Christmas, insofar as it was just me. No decorations, apart from two little ornaments, no tree, no Christmas dinner, no relatives, and no cooking, and just like no stress. And I've had people come in and on the phone and saying, oh, are you missing out? Do you want to come round? I'll cook your Christmas dinner. I'll take you there. I'll take you back. It's like, no. And I didn't want to be rude. And I am just going to go around and see the in-laws tomorrow night for dinner. So, because, I mean, I bought them presents. They bought me presents. But really it's not just about the presents. It's supposed to be about, socialising. So I thought, well, that's the least I can do. But, yeah, I really enjoyed being on my own. I think because I have got Asperger's and that is official. It's in my documentation. It is kind of hard for me to kind of like go on with social mores. Is that right? Mores? I'm never quite sure. But it's kind of difficult. Like, I don't understand a lot of the things, and if people invite me round, I tend to say like no, because I know that I'm going to be sitting there looking at them and they're going to be looking at me, and I just honestly, unless I've got something really in common with them, like a mutual interest, I don't really know what to say to them, and I don't want to come off as rude. So yeah, I mean, I can only turn down so many things, so without it looking rude. So, excuse me, I'm a little bit dehydrated at the moment. So I'm not really looking after myself brilliantly. Sorry about that. But yeah, and I don't know what else to say really, apart from the fact that I mean, it is quite nice to not have to tidy up. I've had some quite traumatic Christmases in the past, either where my parents have just not been interested in Christmas at all when I was little, and feeling kind of weird about it, and then when I'm older, kind of like, I mean, I kind of do understand in a way why my mum didn't want to do it if she was menopausal or depressed or something like that. But she never spoke to me. She never said, she would just say, well, she would just not do anything. And so me and my sister, because we wanted to have a Christmas tree, we would take it upon ourselves to just try and decorate the house as best we could on the 23rd, so at least we had something to look at. That's not to say that all of our Christmases were bad, but it was ups and downs. But the point is, I didn't have anyone in my house to be obliging to. So I just kind of treated like it was any other Wednesday. And in fact, when I spoke to my other half on Skype, he said, "Happy Wednesday." Next year, it's probably going to be a lot different. We'll probably have people around for dinner and that, and it's going to be a massive stress. Last year it was a massive stress because we had to go up to Scotland and stay for, I can't remember how many days it was. It seemed like forever, but it was probably less than a week, with my in-laws, and we were all in like a small flat that we'd rented from, what do you call it? Anyway, so yeah, it was, I didn't cope terribly well. I had to go and have a nap quite a few times, but I'm just kind of like, when it was coming up to Christmas Day, it was like the 23rd, 24th, and I just thought, oh, this time last year I was, I had an 8-hour car journey. I was, we was just having to get everything ready, and like, I just don't do staying in strange places with strange people. I mean, even hotels freak me out. I'm getting better at it, but there you go. But yeah, so I mean, it was kind of weird because I'd get up and I'd like do my sewing, and I'd do my like listen to music or watch YouTube videos, and I've been doing that for like the last 3 weeks. So yeah, it was just another day for me. I can't even remember what I had for dinner. I think I might have got chicken nuggets or something. But yeah, it was great because I still did do the thing of buying the presents and the cards and wrapping them up and sending to people, but not having to have the house pristine, not having to put on a show for people. That was such a relief, I can't tell you. And I was going to do a video actually about an ADHD Christmas, but actually I didn't think it would really be relevant this year because, I mean, apart from like the whole catastrophe of presents that I've ordered arriving late, and me getting things in the last post, and me forgetting to write a card for various whatever people or whatever, I've done quite well. I mean, I still managed to sort of get stuff in the last post and things like that. So yeah, I have, but I haven't had to do any of the cooking. I haven't had to do any tidying. I haven't had to be a hostess, which I'm not brilliant at. I mean, when I have people round for dinner, I tend to just say like, Julian, go and pour all the drinks, and and I'll just sit in the kitchen peeling potatoes and whatnot. So just to keep out of the way, but to do something constructive. Yeah. So I mean, in that way, it was great, but it's surreal because everyone else is doing things, and when you see pictures of your relatives on Facebook and they've got a lovely tree and everything like that, and you kind of do feel a bit sad, but on the other hand, if you're not going to want to do it for, why do it? And that's kind of how, like, my basic outlook on life is kind of like if I'm not doing it for other people, why do it? So, even my art or whatever, music, comedy, YouTube videos, please watch. Yeah, that's kind of like my whole outlook on life. I rely on too much. I guess I rely too much on what what I'm going to get back from other people. And what I did actually miss is unwrapping presents with people who I've bought people unwrapping presents with people who have bought me presents, and I've bought them presents, and unwrapping presents on your own is a bit sad, really. I'm not that great a present buyer, especially for people who don't actually tell me what they want. And I know there's some people who say, well, you can't just go out and ask for something because it seems greedy, or but it's not for me actually, because I would rather get something that people really want, they can really use. Like my nieces would like a pair of trainers or something like that, and I know that their mum and dad can't afford them or whatever. So I'll get them, and I know they're going to get used. And a few years ago, one of my other nieces wanted a pair of Dr. Martens, and I know they were going to get used. So, but there's other sides of my family who everyone's pretty much got everything, and they won't make a wish list, and it drives me mad, because what it means is that then I've got to rush around at the last minute thinking, well, I've got to send them something, so what the hell am I going to... So yeah, I kind of... I did used to be really good at buying presents for people, because like my sister, when she was younger, I knew her better. I was we were living together, and I knew what she liked, and and she was an adult, and we both, we were both teenagers, so we were both brassic apart from Saturday jobs or whatever, and but it got more and more difficult as time goes on. And for my husband's side of the family, A, they don't have a lot of money. B, they make wish lists, which I'm perfectly happy with, because I know, like I said, I know I'm going to get stuff that's going to be useful. And B, they've got hobbies and interests that like really wide-ranging hobbies and interests, like sewing, philosophy, politics, all sorts of things, like mango for the younger ones and stuff. So kind of it does make things a lot easier, because you know that they've got hobbies and interests, and in fact, if you're self-employed and you're doing something for a living, and it's like, oh well, I need these materials and I need that materials and that. But for the other side, for my side of the family, who, well, my mum doesn't have really any hobbies, and she can't do much anyway, and because she's ill, and my sister, she doesn't really have time for hobbies anyway, because she's got a job and she's got kids. So just like her hobbies are just going out with her friends and partying. So and it can be quite difficult. So it's just kind of like trying to not second guess, but trying to kind of like fit into people's requirements when you're just all at sea and you don't know what they are. And this year has been lovely for that, because it has been so quiet and things. Next year we'll probably cook Christmas dinner in here, and then I know I'm going to have to. The house is going to have to be spick and span, not for my standards, but for the families. Not my family, because I couldn't really give a shit, but his family, a little bit more house proud. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult, very different. But this year, yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was nice to do things on my own terms and just chill, and I'll say, if you really want to do that, don't let anyone guilt you into going and doing the things that they think you should be doing at Christmas because it's traditional, it's the done thing, or whatever it is. You do you. If you're not harming anyone, you do you. And I think that's kind of basically, I am gonna go around there tomorrow night for dinner, and I am gonna be sociable, but there are times in which you just think, well, look, I've got to I've just got to be on my own, and it's not pathetic, and it's helpful, and it's nice, and just me and the cats, and a glass or two of something, and some really rubbish food, and watching terrible things on YouTube, the YouTube drama channels and things like. Oh, hang on, I've just got to show you this. Hang on a minute. Oh, bollocks, where is it? Hello! Do we know what this is in relation to? Do we? So yeah, well, guilty pleasures. You know, watching things that the other half desperately wouldn't approve of. I love it. Anyway, New Year's soon. Again, it's going to be another thing about like, oh, everyone's going to parties. I'm going to miss out. You know, I used to feel really dreadful on New Year's Eve that you know I'd be stuck home not doing anything, or the other half didn't want to do anything, or you know whatever. And there was all these people dressing up and going out and doing stuff. But he's not going to be here anyway, and so I guess it's going to be another eating junk food in front of the computer again. But I'll be back soon, and I am readying the house in preparation so it just doesn't look like a trash heap, and just kind of like looking after everything, and the cats and everything else. So just I mean, I've done a little bit of tidying today, a little bit of vacuuming, got all my bits of cut up material off the floor. I'm gonna hang some washing up in a bit, even though it's like way late and everything. I had 2 concertas earlier because I knew that I had shit to do. It's had the effect that I'm just not eating anything today because I just haven't felt like it, which probably means that I'm going to have a really crap night's sleep because my blood sugar levels are going to be all over the place. I'm not diabetic, but I'm pre-diabetic, and I'm pretty sure that's not a good idea. Excuse me. And so yeah, and just kind of like I've spread my crap all over the house, and now I'm going to tidy it all up over the course of the next where are we now? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days ish, and sort my shit out really. Right, I am going to go and hang some washing up now, have a very late shower, and I shall see you all soon. I might have a Christmas song for you. I know it's probably a bit late now, but I sort of 2 verses of it, and I kind of I lost the inspiration. So I'll try and sort that out for the new year at least. But since it's the 12 days of Christmas, I think we could probably get away with doing it any time before the 6th of January, even though most people have taken their tree down by then. But whatever. I mean, I don't like. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the solstice is the better time for me anyway, because I kind of like the idea of the lights, the nights getting shorter and the days getting longer, and I look out in the garden and I can see little boglets poking their little head up, and and it's just nice to think about. Like, I'm pretty sure this is kind of like how all these pagan festivals and then got co-opted by Christianity, and like it's all about sitting out the winter and waiting for the spring to come and seeing the turn of the seasons and all of this. So yeah, it's all good. I'd quite like to increase my ADHD medication next year at some point. I don't know when I'm gonna, because I've got to book it and see somebody private, but I know that having 2 tablets is doing better for me than 1. Just happen to have a few spare hanging around the place because I have the occasional day off, because I don't want my blood pressure to go over the top, and also I'm going to try and be a bit less impulsive next year, because this year I've said some really stupid things to people, and and I guess they don't accept my apology, which is fair enough, because I can be a bit of an arsehole. So I've just got to learn not to get myself in those situations in the first place. And I'm really concerned that I'm leeching off my other half. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because at my age it's going to be difficult for me to, get a proper job or whatever. I'm perfectly, I'll have a proper sensible haircut and all the rest of it, but I've forgotten what a 9 to 5 job feels like now, so I don't even know how that's going to work. But I can't leech off people forever. I don't want to be a female version of a neck beard, whatever that is, a leg beard. Oh, don't even look at my legs. So yeah, I've got a lot to think about. I've got a lot of important decisions to make over the next couple of years, because, like I said, I will be turning 50 next year, and there comes a point where you think, well, what am I doing with my life? And I've always thought about this, but now it's kind of getting a bit urgent, because it's just not the done thing to employ somebody who's, kicking on a bit, whatever. So I might meet some friendly employers out there. My hours for the freelancing are being cut, and I wasn't really making a huge amount in the first place, but we'll have to see, won't we? Yeah, I just got to get off my arse and do some work. So I'll probably post again before New Year's Eve. If not, I wish you all a happy new year, and I would love to post more often, but quite frankly, I haven't got any. I never have anything planned, and I always think I better do something, so I left it at the last minute. And so yeah, next time I'll have something properly planned, and I'll get my kit out. Not getting my kit off, get my kit out, like the proper stuff. So that's it really. Take care of yourselves, and ta-ra.